Welcome to Insights for Living. My name is Apoju Oyemade. This afternoon, I have a special guest with me. I have spoken about his testimony in a couple of my teachings, my faith seminars. And hi then, welcome to Insights for Living. My name is Apoju Oyemade. This afternoon, I have a special guest with me. I have spoken about his testimony in a couple of my teachings, my faith seminars, and today I have him on a set. This is a different set because we are on location where he lives in London, England. And I'd like to welcome, first of all, Pastor Shola Adio. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, he's a friend of mine. We were in campus together in fellowship, and we were taught the rudiments of faith together. So we'll go into the program and discuss about his issue. Now, this has to do with the process through which he believed God for the supernatural birth of his daughter. And if there's anybody you know who has areas of challenges with childbirth and all of that, just give about 10 seconds. You can call them up on the phone, because this is a program that will minister directly to them. Or if you believe in God for anything that seems out of your reach and you've been on it for quite a while, you're going to hear principles this afternoon that will bring about a radical change to your life. It is a principle that allows you to be able to do it by yourself and get results by your own faith, the practice of your own faith. All right then. Special, let's start off. Let's give you a background of how the challenges were and how you came into it. When did you get married and everything that was behind it?
Yeah, we got married in February 1996 in Winners Chapel, Lagos. Okay. And there was something strange during the reception. We had a visiting pastor who prayed, and particularly he prayed along the lines of childbearing, but he seemed to have spent quite a lot of time on that subject in his prayer, but that really did not raise any alarm bells in my heart about that particular issue. And having read the scriptures and being familiar with the promises of God in that area, I was not looking forward to any hitch at all in that area. But then the first major event of significance happened in 1997, a year after we got married. There was this evening, my wife, Muni, came back from work very late, and she was actually brought back by a few colleagues from work. She was working with Winners Chapel then, and she was reported to have a stomach ache, a severe stomach ache. But then by the following morning, we called in a doctor when she didn't appear to catch any sleep at all. In fact, the reason why we called the doctor was that she began to say things I didn't understand, and I was just praying. At that point, I felt a nudge in my spirit that we should call in a doctor. And when the doctor came in, she said she suspected I was ectopic pregnancy, and she only had just a couple of hours to live. So we had to rush her down to the hospital, and that was how it started.
All right. When you say she was saying things that you didn't understand, what do you mean by that?
Now, I was praying in the spirit while this encounter was going on. It was said to be just a stomach ache, but she couldn't sleep because she was feeling very uncomfortable. Everyone else had gone to sleep. So I was just praying in the spirit and just waiting for her to sleep so that I can also sleep. But at some point, while she was turning around, she began to mumble words that I didn't understand. And then it was like she began to drift away, into unconsciousness. And it was like, to me, it was as though she was trying to say farewell to me. She was slipping out of consciousness. It was then I began to shake her up, and I said to her, "You're going nowhere."
Okay. All right. So now, after that, what now?
Yeah.
What now began to ensure?
We got into the hospital. They said it was ectopic, and we had to go look for blood for the surgery to happen. At the end of the surgery, she had lost a tube.
All right then.
She had lost a fallopian tube, and that was how it all started, really. And since then, that was in 1997, we didn't see any sign of a pregnancy happening at all until about late 1999. By that time, we had been in the UK.
When you say sign of pregnancy, what do you mean?
Like for every couple believing God for, a child,
Yeah.
you see the sign of a pregnancy in the form of a period being missed.
Okay. All right then. So that didn't happen until 1999.
Yeah, that didn't happen again until 1999.
And then what happened then?
In 1999, she was pregnant, but we did not realize that she was pregnant. She had actually traveled to Lagos, and I was in London then. And then when she came back to London, she said that she had gone in for a test while in Lagos, and that she was reported to be pregnant, but it seemed that a miscarriage had happened.
Okay. Then after that, what now? Where did you get into?
So, and at that point, the miscarriage actually happened, and it was really a very painful moment, a very painful moment for us. But, and just about that time was when we birthed the fellowship in our home.
All right, let me just stop here, because from my own spiritual understanding, those moments of pain and where you have bouts in yourself, when you just go through a particular experience, are very decisive moments. What you do during those times are very important, right? It can either, you can sow a seed that, when I say sow a seed now, I mean you can take a step now, make a decision that will lay foundation for the miracle in the future, or you can actually do things that could worsen the case. So when you had that pain on the inside of you, how did you handle the pain?
Now, I had the pain, and it was just about that time. It had been on the cards, really, that we're going to start a fellowship.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, those were times that you will feel that you shouldn't even go into such a thing, for two reasons. One could have been bitter that, God, why did this happen to me? Then secondly, one can also feel inadequate to take on such a responsibility, because perhaps people who are going to attend the fellowship are aware of that situation, and you could entertain doubts in your heart as to whether you should even be in a position to minister to such people at all. Some of them already have their own children, they are married. Some are not yet married. Some might even be going through that same sort of situation, and it appears that, oh, we're now going to tag along with a leader who has not even solved his own problem. So those kind of thoughts, came into my mind. But I made that decision that I wasn't going to be bitter about what had happened, and also made a decision that I was going to go ahead with my service of God, and that service was going to be like a seed that will bring about the decisive miracle.
All right, so you now went into it, and from there, what began to happen?
Yeah, from there, what we did was that we left the situation alone. It wasn't a case of, if we don't have a child by next year, then something is really wrong. We left the situation alone, and we just dipped ourselves more into the service of God. And at various times, people might ring me up and say, well, it's been quite a number of years now. What are you guys doing? And we just say to them that we're holding on to the Word of God. But there were certain times during that experience that the thoughts come back to me that, oh, this situation is still unresolved. But there was another decision I made yet again, which was that I know that it's going to happen for me. I know that I already have it. But between now and when it happens,